No, I mean like the set is like this is dope. Like I just the way you have the stream set up and everything. This is actually pretty nice.
Yeah, it's really cool. My older brother introduced me to it. He runs a YouTube channel. Actually, he had two, but he runs a YouTube channel that's like essentially white people in Japan, and he just
Really?
shows what Japan looks like from an American standpoint.
Wow.
And so he's got like the first threshold for earnings, I guess,
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
now. And so he said, there's this program called this that we're using. You can also use Streamlabs, and I've used Streamlabs before, but yeah. This is the for every single one of our trailer reactions, this is the program we use, and it's pretty clean. It's
You
pretty
guys,
clean.
oh damn! I need to watch your trailer reactions. Have you watched the Sinners trailer?
Bro, we have 2,000 views on our Sinners trailer reaction,
Really?
and it's
Yeah.
okay. So it's kind of funny. My oldest friend and I, he's in filmmaking. He's an editor. He's extremely good at it. He taught me all my editing for our stuff too, by the way. We started doing reactions, and we caught it. I guess at the right time. I said, "Hey, it's Ryan Coogler. He's a phenomenal director." I said, "It's Michael B. Jordan." I'm like, I think we are going to catch this at the perfect time. Let's see what happens. And then a day later, it had 1,000 views on it, and it was our third or fourth video. And I'm
That's
like,
fire.
boy, yeah. Well, what's fire is the trailer. It's
I
awesome.
was gonna say, dude, I went to see Captain America last night, and the trailer played before the movie. My
Yeah,
entire theater was just silent, and just a little kid just goes, "We have to go see that." And everybody just
no
like,
doubt,
yeah, everybody was in
no doubt.
agreement.
I legit only have one critique about the trailer itself,
Hmm.
but it's excellent. Honestly, my mother watched it, because this is pretty early. I'm pretty early in the stages of creating content, and she was like, "I don't think I need to watch you and Aaron react to that trailer." I said, "Did you get to the vampire part?"
Yeah,
She's
a
like,
lot of people forget that there's a vampire part, and
"Yeah,
people
yeah,
didn't
yeah."
even know there were vampires in the movie.
No, no, they do a great job of like subverting expectations, and the vampire show up. You're like, oh, I'm in. What are we doing? I'm in. This is awesome. This is
Yeah,
awesome.
I,
It's
I'm
it's so
so
well made.
I was gonna say, the trailers that played before Captain America were probably the best lineup of trailers I've seen in a very long time because it was all just all blockbuster hits. They played Thunderbolts, which I adore that trailer so much.
Yeah,
They
it's
played
really cool.
Yeah, the Thunderbolts trailer is really awesome. They played Superman, of course, which hits the same every time.
Mhm.
Um, they played the Fantastic Four trailer, which I know some people are kind of on the fence about. I personally like it. It was a teaser trailer, so I'm not expecting them to show more. Like I was fine with what we got, but no, they showed a perfect lineup of trailers last night. And the
Speaking
movie
of
was
subverting
over.
expectations, they for sure do that in the Fantastic Four trailer, for sure.
They're not
Like
showing
now,
anything.
now that I've seen Captain America, and this isn't a spoiler, I think, because they mention it kind of in Doctor Strange. It's gonna be the Fantastic Four's universe colliding with ours.
Yeah,
That's what we're. I mean, I don't see why they wouldn't do that. That seems
yeah.
obvious to me.
That's
You
yeah,
know.
that's and I was gonna say, I mean, technically, it's hard to spoil Captain America because the only thing that is truly needing to be spoiled, they already gave away. Like the biggest reveal in the movie's
Yeah.
already in all the marketing, so it's kind of
Well,
hard to spoil that.
I forgot that Bucky was like running for Congress. What I
I
that was
that
I was like, what the hell?
That was I honestly like the biggest things I remember from Falcon and Winter Soldier are personally just the fact that Sam, of course, is Captain America now.
Yeah.
Bucky and Sam's relationship got a lot closer. They're a lot, friendlier towards each other.
Right.
The Isaiah Bradley stuff, like him running for Congress, completely forgot about all that. Which
Sure.
is he's a. I mean,
Sure.
I second chances are definitely a thing, but like he's technically a terrorist. I don't see how you can do that. I don't.
Yeah. Yeah. I yeah. I also they go as far as to say Bucky's not a leader in every piece of content that we've seen. He's not,
Yeah.
like, they earmark him as a non-leader, and he's running for Congress in New York. Right, in New York City, he's going to be right. Anyway, it's a weird. I, I Thunderbolts is going to change that because we
Yeah.
see a domain expansion in Thunderbolts, like an actual domain expansion.
No, literally, and he's
Literally,
going to the Sentry's powers. Though I'm just like that. How do you beat that? Like it's going to
well, that's
be
what.
definitely nerfed. It's definitely going
Well,
to be nerfed.
speaking of nerfed, I in our our footage review of Captain America, my brother and I talked about it. We were like, who's gonna beat the Red Hulk? Like, actually, what's gonna happen? And then, this is a spoiler. Uh, the final attack with the vibranium and everything, very cool. Super appreciate that. I thought that was really, really well done and executed. I was like, okay, that does as much damage as a hammer, like a Thor hammer or something to that
No,
effect,
the
right?
Wakandan tech was really cool. The
It was really
Wakandan tech
cool.
was really cool.
But then they hit us with the talk no jutsu, and okay,
No,
talk
but
no
I was gonna
jutsu.
say honestly, Cap, the Sam Wilson's Cap and Red Hulk is not even the most unrealistic thing in that movie. For me, it was the chick who's like 4'5", completely
Yes,
just kicking everybody's ass. I was like,
th-
no way in hell, this girl is doing this. They really
bro.
like
This is what would happen. They would just go boop, and then she'd be done. They'd fold her in half. She's
like
85 pounds, not
like
soaking wet.
like she's so small. I'm like, yo, like come on. I'm like, come on. She is so tiny. Like, there's no way.
Yeah.
She was like,
So
bro, during the scene, I guess we're going into minor spoiler talk, but during the
sure, why
scene
not?
where, Harrison Ford's getting attacked and she's fighting like all those mind controlled government officials, I'm like, no, I'm like, what the I'm like, no way she has these abilities. I know,
Oh no,
now granted, she's the head of the security team, obviously for reasons, yeah, but like, what?
I don't need it.
That's
I don't need an Amazon, right? But look like a person. She looked like a teenager, and I'm
like,
not
there's
mad about it. Whatever, I just it's a miscast.
no,
Also,
that stood out to me. That was like the biggest standout.
it's a shoehorn. So here's the thing I do love about that movie. I think it's unsung is they didn't force a romantic relationship.
Didn't
I
need
lo-
one.
don't do that. Fuck,
Yeah,
don't do that.
yeah.
Anyway, don't do that.
Did you
Uh,
like
it,
did you like Danny Ramirez's character, his Falcon?
sure, sure.
I know I thought he was pretty hit. I thought he was hit or miss.
He sounded like any other goofy sidekick. I mean, we've had goofy sidekicks before. The
Yeah.
He was okay. The action set piece over the Indian Ocean is incredible. That was incredible.
No, the action's really
Do
good.
that more.
The
Do
action
that
the
kind of shit
action in the
more.
movie is really good.
It's really good. But if you, and I mentioned this in my review of the movie, if you take like the beats of Winter Soldier or the beats of Civil War, pretty similar. Like
Yeah.
there's a scene there's a scene in Winter Soldier where they have Winter Soldier is my favorite Marvel movie. I know you ranked it out of your top 10, which is insane to me. You didn't. It was like 7 or something for you.
No, you
It was
no,
like
you
7 or
missed that.
5 for
Winter
you.
Soldier's number 2. Winter
I
Soldier's
did.
number 2.
I did. We're gonna balloons.
What is
Awesome.
that?
I don't know, but that's awesome.
That's not. I didn't.
Okay, and look, I didn't do it. My hands are right here, dude.
I was gonna say I didn't touch anything. That's crazy.
No, whatever. You said Winter Soldier number 2 balloons popped out, so I guess you're right.
Snap.
Um,
It's kind of breaking up.
um,
Darn it.
that what is it? There's a scene in Winter Soldier, and it's the only like because I think Winter Soldier is the best. It's the only scene that's out of place, and it's an action scene, and it's when they fight on the bridge here somewhere in DC.
Yeah.
And that's the only part where I'm like, all right, we didn't need this. Like this one scene is unnecessary because everyone leaves okay. They leave like continuing on their mission. It's just kind of a useless fight scene. But the rest of that movie is so good. But if you take beat for beat, it's the same. I mean, I'd be willing to bet that the team up Germany airport fight scene is at the same part of Civil War as the Indian Ocean fight scene. And I bet it's in the same few moments.
Yeah.
I'd be willing to bet
That
it's in the exact same spot.
yeah, that makes sense. No, I was gonna say though, Winter Soldier's number 2 on my list.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, just wanted to make sure I made Winter
I'm
Soldier's
with
number
you.
2.
Look,
Yeah.
look. I where do you put this? I don't want to steal this. Where do you put Captain America? This one. Where do you put it?
Um
You got
I
35, right? This is the 35th.
Yeah, this is the 35th movie. It's somewhere around where I ranked Far From Home, which just came out of my top 15 because I have the same feelings about this movie that I have now for Far From Home. When I first watched Spider-Man Far From Home, I was super biased in my ranking of that because I just thought it was fucking amazing. And of
Right.
course, No Way Home was a very good send off to that trilogy and that story of Tom Holland's Spider-Man, as far as him going from the Avengers Spider-Man to the Street Spider-Man. But It's probably somewhere around maybe like the 17 to 19 range, somewhere around there.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. I'm about there. I think mine's like between 20 and 25. Um,
Yeah, like I'm not. Yeah, like I'm like there are definitely like as
yeah.
far as Marvel's, excuse me, as far as Marvel's like recent movies, as far as like going from Quantumania onto this one, I can definitely say this is easily the best one they've had.
Since Quantum Mania? Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
this was much better than everything else.
yeah, definitely since
For
those
sure.
string of movies since Quantum Mania, which have not been much, but it's a lot better than the quality of content we've gotten from those films. So I think that's mainly just Quantum Mania, the Marvels. It might honestly be it,
I'm pretty
but
sure I
even
fell asleep during Quantum Mania too. I'm pretty sure I fell
uh,
asleep.
you didn't miss much. I
I
mean,
don't
all you
remember what
missed was
happened.
Jonathan Majors getting beat by ants. That's really it.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I don't want to see that. Jonathan Major's the man. I don't want to see that. He's a weapon. Yeah, no, this Captain America was solid. I the vitriol coming from all of the content creators earlier this week where they were like, "This sucks," and I was just like, "Y'all are spoiled. Y'all are some spoiled brats." Because it was
Yeah,
okay. It was okay at worst. At worst,
yeah.
it was okay.
At worst, it was okay. And the thing about it is, I really think people are just so stuck on the fact they want everything to go back to peak Marvel, but they forget like not everything during quote unquote peak Marvel was like exceptionally good because we still had that sort of like implements of mid or to average to mid movies throughout. Like personally, I like Iron Man 3 has definitely grown on me, but it's not like up there with like some of the best Marvel films, but people will like overlook that one and go, no, that's still peak Marvel or stuff like that. And then Thor literally only has technically I really like the first Thor, but I mean as far as like general consensus, technically Thor only has one good movie. I think the other ones just could be the first one could be deemed okay. The other two are complete trash. Um,
Thor three
but yeah,
Ragnarok. Thor Ragnarok is unbelievable. Thor Ragnarok is
yeah,
an unbelievable movie.
yeah. No, Thor Ragnarok is
Okay.
absolutely tons of fun, amazing.
Okay. Cool. 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 Because that's in my top 10 for sure. No, I mean, look, I'm with you. I think you can clearly see a divide between people who like Ultron, Age of Ultron, and people who don't. So I like Age of Ultron. To me, that's like peak comic book. That is a comic book movie. That's not
Hmm.
necessarily a cinema movie, but
Yeah,
like everything from Hawkeye saying to Cap, like, "Hey, he's an android made of vibranium. Like, you can't fight him," and Cap being like, "I don't care. I have to."
yeah,
And
yeah,
doing it to everything about that movie is so comic booky, like it's almost too comic booky. For a lot of fans, I think. Like a lot of fans were like, "Oh, this isn't epic enough, or doesn't provide enough stakes, or the stakes are strange or weird, or we can't relate to them. The performances, maybe, whatever." I was like, "Nah, there's a lot of really interesting, very comic book specific stuff in there." And then they misplaced Thor stuff in the middle, which stinks because
the Thor stuff kind of got a little wonky. But I'll say, the more I think about Age of Ultron, Ultron as a villain grew on me because his ideals and his motives are ridiculous. They're really good. Like his entire motive of what he wants to do to the planet, how he completely just woke up, scanned the internet for 5 minutes, and realized everything has to go.
right,
Yeah, like that makes sense,
yeah,
especially the way social media is today. Like
yeah, yeah,
I really enjoy no, like I think Ultron is an amazing villain. I honestly I don't try to be too harsh on Age of Ultron anymore. When it first came out, of course, it didn't live up to like my expectations of a sequel to the first Avengers movie. But like I said, Ultron has grown on me definitely more as a villain. He's one of the best MCU villains. One of being he's probably like top five maybe. But
right,
the movie's ridiculously fun. You get the Hulkbuster suit, everything. The beginning
right.
sequence is tons of fun. The beginning sequence when they're raiding that snow fort, that's a lot of fun watching the Avengers interact, and then throughout the movie you see them kind of divide a little bit, and some things that happen in this movie or happen in Age of Ultron are hinted back at in Civil War, of course, when they're just completely dismantling cities. and
Right.
there's like nobody to really stop these guys, or to be in control of that. And so that's kind of a nice segue into the Sokovia Accord and stuff. So I think Age of Ultron is definitely a movie that, as far as like time has gone by, it's definitely aged very well. I think
I
no pun intended.
I think so too. Like I said, there's so many cool comic book moments that are separated by some meh, like uncommunicated story production issues that has nothing to do with the cool moments, like
Yeah,
Vision picking up the hammer, um, as opposed to the beginning part where the Avengers are just hanging out in their living room having a conversation, which is awesome.
you're
Um,
great. A great team building, team bonding moment.
it's as good as an action set piece, and I think that's important. You got to you got to take a breath for a moment, I think. And I just watched the most recent episode of Solo Leveling, and I'll spoil a little bit for you. Like
No,
the
no, 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 no. Okay, go ahead. Just a little bit.
no, no, I mean there's like, because we just watched Sungjin defeat the orcs, right? Defeat the orc leader, and that
That
was
entire room of giant fucking orcs, which and necromanced everyone, which was amazing.
he's incredible. The beginning of this one, there he's still like you're. It's a lot of world building. There's a lot of like spice of life. Let's figure out some more of this, and then it gets hairy a little bit, and it gets fun at the end. And so
Yeah.
that's not a spoiler, I think. But
No, that was, yeah.
but
And I'm sorry. Yeah, I guess what. See, when I hear spoiler, I get very scared. But that was actually the best non-spoiler I've ever heard in my
yeah,
life. So good job.
thank you. I think like the spice of life stuff is super important. We miss out on it because we think we want fireworks all the time, but unearned spectacle is not cool.
Yeah.
Uh, as a matter of fact, I hate unearned spectacle. Uh, Speaking of unearned spectacle, what were your thoughts on the Super Bowl?
Literally, that's how I would describe it: an unearned spectacle. I guess for the in the Eagles' perspective, they earned that. As far as general audiences go, we deserved a better Super Bowl. But the crazy thing about it is, this technically, for this Chiefs team that did make it, out of all the other Chiefs teams that have been in the bowl before, this is definitely the worst one with the best record. Like they were winning so many one-score games. It was some very ugly wins, but now they were still wins at the end of the day. But it was just like, personally, I had convinced myself that it was inevitable. These guys were going to win their three-peat and just rule the world, and football was going to be over, because I knew for a fact, whether or not the Chiefs won or lose this Super Bowl, they would not be as bad as they were this year, as far as like
Right.
just really, really having ugly wins and not having like satisfying wins to let you know, like, yeah, these guys are dominant in the way that they're supposed to be. Like, granted, they still went 15-1, but as far as the game goes, I'll say this: it was surprising. I was glad the Chiefs didn't win. I was hoping it'd be a little more competitive, but it's nice to know that they are not as powerful as they seem. Now, the Eagles, scary, dominant. The defense. Honestly, I think I didn't watch many sports talk shows after the Super Bowl, just because I don't really, after the Ravens lost, I personally was just off them things, just in general. But I don't know if people have been giving the defense the praise that they deserve. But I personally think the entire defense could have been a candidate for Super Bowl MVP. You could have gave it to the entire defense.
Yes.
Literally, almost every single player made an outstanding play. Cooper DeJean had a pick six. Zach Bond, well, technically Zach Bond's interception, Patrick threw it right to him, but it was still a credit to the defensive line. The entire defensive line, with just four guys. They weren't even blitzing much. The entire defensive line with four guys was causing so much hell and havoc for Patrick Mahomes. I've never seen him get sacked that much. Never seen Patrick Mahomes get sacked that much,
Yeah.
because of normally this guy can maneuver out of anything. This guy was getting cruddy. And honestly, it was very nice to see. I just wish the game would have been more competitive. An unearned spectacle for general audiences watching it, but as far as Eagles fans, they earned that because
Yeah, I
they
think so
lost.
too. I think so too. I think the NFL is getting kind of predictable, unfortunately, and I don't mean that in gambling. I can't gamble for. I'm not going to do that. But I think some of it's getting predictable. Like you could have said, but before the Super Bowl to me, either the Chiefs will win it close, or the Eagles will win it completely outright, and it won't be close. And I would have been like,
Yeah.
yeah, that makes sense to me because the Eagles just came off of two. or three massive victories. They're not going to stop doing what they're doing. The Chiefs, and this is a Vegas stat. I don't know if you know this, but they almost never cover. They almost never cover the spread. The games are much closer than even Vegas knows. It's like an overwhelming number, like 17-3 and some odd since whenever. Like
Mhm.
they never cover. They never win by enough for the people who bet on them to make money. It almost
Yeah.
never happens. They almost lose the spread. So it's either going to be close or the Eagles are going to come out and dominate. Um, I think the game was over when DeJean scored the touchdown. Actually,
I've never,
and I
dude.
yeah,
I went to. I'm sorry to cut you off. I went to the
no,
bathroom during that part. Like I go. I was only in there for like 40 seconds. I come out. People are talking about Patrick Mahomes threw a pick six. That sentence didn't even sound right to me. I thought I was
right.
being pranked. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm watching this dude Cooper DeJean take it all the way back. I was like, God damn, yeah, this might truly be over. Like some part of me wanted it to still be competitive because I want a good game. But shit, I personally think like competitive game wise, I think that's personally like the worst Super Bowl we've gotten since either Broncos Seahawks when the Seahawks completely just decimated the Broncos,
Right.
or, or Panthers. What is that? Panthers Broncos when we had to
Yeah.
watch old Peyton Manning just who couldn't do a damn thing get carried by his defense and they won.
Yeah. Cam Newton lost that game in the first play of the game. And
Yeah,
so yeah, that was unfortunate. Because I like Cam a lot.
very
He's
much
a
so.
talent. He's a talent. No, I got to ask you this. Kind of a racy question, so you'll have to forgive me if you don't want to answer it, but and I'll take it out if you don't like it, we'll edit it out.
It's cool,
Uh,
man.
does Cooper DeJean does he get his G card?
What's a G card? His gangster card?
Yeah, like his hey, you're one of us now. Like he's the only white corner in the league. Like does he get all the privileges? Like that playing corner in the NFL is so hard, white people don't get to do it except for him. And he
Yeah,
caught an interception pick six against the current generation's best quarterback
facts.
in the first Super Bowl he ever played.
Um,
Actually, it was his first pick six. Actually, so it's his first pick six against Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl in his first Super Bowl, and he's like 21 or 22, and he's the only white dude who's doing his job out of the entire NFL for like the last 2 decades.
I think he can have. I think he can definitely have a G card. He has all the privileges except one, obvious one, of
Okay,
course, but it's
you're
mainly
not
because
letting him have this one. Okay, all right. I know some people have been like, "Hey, he gets the one. He's the one who gets the one," but no one else
nah,
does.
he doesn't
Nope.
get that. He doesn't get that. But I'm not very.
Interesting.
I like. There's not a lot of white boys I probably get at too. I mean, I think the most popular one in the black community is Eminem. like,
Really?
um, yeah,
Yeah, I get that. I get
Eminem,
that.
yeah, in the black community, yeah, because any white boy that can rap like that, will definitely respect the hell out of that. But a white corner, no, that's ridiculously hard. But
Okay,
it's only because his name is Cooper. Like I love Cooper
got it.
Flag, but I wouldn't give that to him either.
It's tough. It's tough because Cooper DeJean, he balls too. Like he plays basketball pretty well. Like he's a baller.
I saw his
He's really
highlights. He was actually ridiculous. He was
he's
very
ridiculous.
freak athlete.
He should be returning kicks too because he's as good at returning kicks as he is at playing corner.
I'm
But
sure.
no, he's goofy. He is a goofy dude. Like he is so goofy. Like so, even if for one reason you were like, yeah, he gets all the privileges. He's the dude. He gets to say whatever he wants. It's like, nah, he doesn't have enough swagger.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, he doesn't have it.
honestly, that's funny. That's a good question. I didn't think about that, but he definitely gets it for being a white cornerback and being successful. You get a G card, sure. Oh wait,
He's a G for sure. He's a G
no,
for sure.
he's definitely a G.
He's a G for
Being a
sure.
white corner is ridiculously hard.
And that, yeah, he's the only one.
Well,
Just him.
I was gonna say, not even being a white corner, just being a cornerback in general is ridiculously hard.
Ridiculous. Not and people
Ridiculously
like
hard.
the physical attributes alone are tough, right? Because you're faster than everyone in the field and quicker in a lot of ways and more flexible because of how the hips switch and your eyes and everything. But on top of
Yeah,
that,
you got to play ball and play man, and sometimes that man ends up being like DK Metcalf or AJ Brown or somebody just
it,
very shifty and swifty.
like you're gonna get dunked on. You're gonna lose.
Yeah,
So like, and you're gonna lose bad. It's not
yeah.
great.
Him
And
going
you're
up,
just So
Oh,
playing corner is that hard. Playing corner is so hard that you have to be all these physical attributes and a brilliant mind and very thoughtful, and also going with the mindset I'm gonna get dunked on. I'm playing in the
facts,
paint, and that's gonna happen because
facts,
these dudes in front of me are built to run, and they're gonna do great
for sure. I agree with that.
for sure. That might be the hardest position in all of sports is
Cornerback.
corner. People say quarterback, like an NFL quarterback is the hardest position in sports. That's like the common nomenclature.
I'd say quarterback because you have to remember all those plays and you got
It's
to know
true.
audibles. And if you want to be really good at your job, you have to know audibles. You have to be able to read a defense. There's a lot like up here that has to be processed before, during, and after the fact. So
The
that's
whole,
why I
the
think
whole, yeah, but the whole mindset of I'm here to put everyone in my life in a position to be as or more successful than they will ever be. That is
Mhm.
your mindset going into every decision that you make. That includes your family. That includes the janitor who's cleaning, right? Because there's how many hundreds of thousands of people who are dependent on you being successful because you have the ball in your hand.
Yeah,
Um, you're the captain of the ship, but your ship is like $1 billion industry. So,
fact.
or it's $1 billion company, billions of dollars in like the Cowboys thing. So like, so every decision you make is in support of everyone else performing better than anyone else. And without any of that, you still have to perform in the field for yourself.
I'd also say that quarterbacks might this might be they might have like the shortest leashes as far as like being able to have chances to develop, chances to
Mm-hmm.
perform. Because if you're not doing things, because the thing about NFL is there's only what 17, 18 games, 18 games now, or 18 weeks,
17, yeah. 17,
17,
yeah.
right?
17 games.
So you only have like each week is literally very important. It's not the NBA where you got 82 games. I don't know how many games are in baseball, but I imagine, but
It's
yeah, like you have.
160.
I was gonna
It's
say, yeah, you have
160
you have an
baseball games.
immense amount of games and immense amount of chances to be able to make up for whatever happened the night before. You literally have a week to week opportunity to get your shit together, or we got to pull a plug, or if you're not looking good during certain stretches, we got to figure it out. And there's just so much pressure on GMs and office owners of getting it right that they'll like sometimes just panic and pull like what happened with Bryce Young. Like Bryce Young was a perfect example this year. Now, granted, I think he should have got pulled at the beginning, and I think that definitely helped him. I don't think keeping him out there we would have seen the Bryce Young we saw at the end of the year. But like stuff like that helps. But like yeah, there's times where I feel like they have like the shortest leashes in the NFL, and it's so much pressure because some people while corner is essentially hard, I think some just might be like naturally gifted, like some physically just naturally gifted guys. You can at least follow somebody. Granted, you have to be good to like swat the ball, catch a pick, all that good stuff. Which is why what separates the tiers of corners. Like it's not easy at all what Pat Sertan does. But for example, our corner Brandon Stevens, who fucking shucks. He has the ability to follow a guy. He just can't do anything when the ball is thrown up, and he doesn't look that way. He always gets penalty.
Yeah, no, Patrick Sertan is a certified Hall of Famer. So he's the best at his position, and he's so much better at his position that he's better at his position than anyone else is at their positions by
Facts.
comparison. I think
Facts.
I can say that. I don't. Yeah, I don't think there's any other player who's so much better at everyone else at their position than everyone else that also plays their position, except for him. Maybe no, I think it's just him. I'm sorry. I'm trying to like. It's not running back. It's not quarterback. It's not tight end. There's no linemen right now that are just unbelievable.
I was gonna say no. I'm thinking with you. I think as far as like
Yeah.
the gap between the first and the second best corner in the league, I think Sertan is definitely have a bigger gap space now. Of course,
Yeah, yeah, Darnold. So Darnold was that much better than every other tackle, defensive tackle in the
yeah.
NFL, and
Oh
he's
yeah,
the
Aaron
last
Donald.
one.
Yeah.
Aaron Darnold.
Uh-huh.
So he's Aaron Darnold's situation, like in terms of
Yeah.
yeah. Pat Surtain is the man. You could watch the entire game and just watch him play, and
Yeah.
just watch him play defense. He's incredible. I love when you pick out NFL players and you're like, okay, I'm going to watch this one guy the entire time. And that one guy is that guy. And you're just watching a really cool dude.
For
Like
sure.
everything is so technical. And we talked about this before. You were talking about, you know, in everything in life and in any sort of objective that you want to that you want to claim with goals and whatnot, you got to make your layups, right? I think that's a pretty standard thing. You got to make your layups.
Yeah.
But then like at some point, the layups, the consistency of the layups being made, you got to be able to move back, back out, right?
Hmm.
So like muscle memory needs to take place. They talk about like Kobe Bryant, or it was AI. It was one of the two that you couldn't. Oh, I lost you. Black
My
screen.
bad. Did
Ooh.
I flip
No,
out
it's
there for a
cool.
second?
It's cool. Yeah, yeah, you're right. We talk about Kobe Bryant. We talk about like they they don't um no one knew what move they were being put into.
Yeah.
Like they weren't undefendable per se, but like I like watching Kyrie Irving because you don't know what Kyrie Irving's about to do.
I was
He's
just
a
about to
nerd.
say, yeah, it's Kyrie. That's Kyrie Irving, which
He's
is,
probably
yeah,
yeah, he's probably my favorite basketball player post Michael Jordan is Kyrie Irving.
I can respect that for
He's
sure.
really super good.
Mine was, I love, yeah, I'm a Duke fan, so I absolutely love Kyrie Irving. But
Oh, you're a Duke fan.
I am a Duke fan. I'm a really big Duke fan. Yeah,
Hey,
I'm a really big
listen,
Duke fan.
I'm a born and raised North Carolina, so I'm
You're a
a
Tar Heel?
yeah, yeah, for sure, for
Wow,
sure.
if I would have known that, we never would have talked in class. That's
Oh, come
crazy.
on. You gotta make a choice in North Carolina, and the choice is like a strong Duke fan or a strong Carolina fan, or maybe NC State, or maybe Wake Forest, and that's it. You get to just choose. That's it. You choose at a really young age. And I was tall too, right? So I was like at 12 years old, I was 6 foot, right? Or 5'11 at 12, 11 years old. And so I immediately was like, who's your favorite? It's like, I don't know, Carolina, I
Yeah.
guess. When did you become a Ravens fan?
Oh, technically, this is one of my very first memories. It was the first Super Bowl they won in like 2000 or whatever against the Giants, but
Oh
it
yeah.
came down to the fact that my mom's family's from New York, and they're yeah, my mom's family's from New York, and they're Giants fans. My dad's family's from here, of course, but my mom moving down here, she became a Baltimore fan because she works in Baltimore. So it was like basically I came up in my mind. I was like, all right, whoever wins the Super Bowl, I'll be a fan of them for the rest of my life. Um, thank God the Ravens won, because although the Giants have two, I would not want to be a Giants fan.
Nah, nope. No, no. I'm a Packers fan, and I've told this story a bunch of times. But I'm a Packers fan, and I don't mean to interrupt. But I'm kind of like you, especially from when you became a Ravens fan. So it was 1995, and
Hmm.
I became a fan of the Braves the same year. They won the World Series the same year, but the
Yeah.
Packers were playing the Panthers in the NFC Championship game in North Carolina or in Charlotte,
Hmm.
and I pulled for the Panthers, and they lost, obviously. And then, ironically, the Packers went on to play the Patriots in the Super Bowl. That happened in 1996, and I pulled for the Packers. And my older brother, who's on this channel, he's the tall, goofy guy on the channel. He called me a bandwagon fan, and I'm 6 years
Yeah.
old. No, I'm 8 years old, 9 years old this time, right? And I said,
Yeah.
fine, I'll be a fan forever of the Packers
Yeah.
forever.
I was gonna say my brother. Yeah, I give my brother shit all the time for being a bandwagoner. He's never loyal to a singular team. It was more so with player following. Like
Ooh,
when Odell Beckham was big in New York, he was a Giants fan. He's a Cowboys fan for periods of time. Can't really remember all the other. I want to say the Saints were just a random part of that fandom at some point in time, but like yeah, he just hops around. But I and
yeah,
the older it's crazy because the NFL is the only well, other okay, the NFL. I mean, I'm not a college football guy, but I know college football fandom is very. You have to be loyal. College basketball and NFL are the two fandoms that I hold to where like you literally have to have a team. There's no player following. Well, college
yeah,
basketball, of course, because nobody stays. But yeah, it's like NFL is like it's damn near like a cult. You got to pick and you got to go through it. Like you have to go through whatever the fuck goes on. Once you make that decision, you are stuck for the rest of your life dealing with their
yeah,
decisions. NBA,
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
a little more lenient to because I'm a Bulls fan and I want out. I want out. I'm that loyal side of me is like holding on. not that we'll ever turn it around and be good. I'm not sure that'll ever happen, but at least just we'll be more competitive and not so stuck in the same cycle every year. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, you got no shot. They got bad ownership, and you can tell. Um, you can tell.
Yeah,
And I don't
horrible,
mean bad.
horrible front office.
Maybe fine ownership, but horrible leadership. You can tell. You can see it happening.
No, we have horrible ownership, horrible front office, horrible leadership. It's all bad. Everything is bad.
It's it's immeasurably obvious seeing um, public companies with bad leadership. Like you can see it. It's not like even
Yeah.
if there's not a competitive nature or a scoreboard or whatever. And I do wish there were more scoreboards in the world, because I'd like to know who's winning. But just it'd be really cool if there was like a Mike McDonald's is winning this year. But A public scoreboard would be dope. You could tell when there's bad leadership. You could just see it. You could see it in all sorts of things and how they spend money and where they put their information and yeah, you can tell. You can tell where there's bad leadership and the Bulls have bad leadership. Who doesn't want to play for the anyway? Who doesn't want to play for the Bulls? Like they got money in Chicago. What are we doing? You're the king of that city if you're good. You're the king of Chicago and nothing. They're just bad. They're bad. Like, how does Milwaukee have a
and
better
it's
team?
so crazy because like fan wise, we are one of the most like as far as people generating ticket sales, like we're always up there in like the top like three every single year.
Yeah.
Fans want the Bulls to be good.
Yeah.
Problem is they just aren't. Now, granted, I will say, roster wise, this is like the best situation we've been in a while because now we can actually tank. Lord, I hope we can actually tank and maybe put something together. But that would depend on where we get. We literally just traded for our own draft pick back this year, which was really, thank
That's
God, because
loser.
that was
That's loser shit. That's loser shit. That's loser
literally
shit. That is
literally
loser shit.
like that's how bad it is. I'm up here so happy that we traded back for our own pick, that we got our own pick back. Like
Right. That's
we
so funny.
traded away Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan and got absolutely nothing but our own pick back, which honestly, whatever, I'll take it. Like that's all I can
That's
take.
so funny.
That's cool. We don't have to talk about the Bulls though. We can move on. Yeah, that's just pain and misery and that.
No, I think the NBA is, and we talked about this the other day. Uh, they have a profit sharing agreement, right? So every team profits from the NBA being successful more than what the NFL does, more than baseball.
Yeah,
Not as Baseball has the same thing, by the way, too. Baseball, but more than the NFL. When the Bulls are good, the NBA is better. When the Lakers are good, the NBA is better. When the Celtics are good, the NBA is better. Those three teams are of a higher ilk than the others. So
yeah.
I'd be willing to tell you that if Luca wasn't going to LA, he would have ended up in Chicago for whatever
Oh wow.
reason.
That's a Carmelo Anthony situation all over again because he said, you know how many players I've had to live through my lifetime said they were coming to Chicago, but for whatever reason shit got canceled and they weren't coming.
All of
Kobe,
them.
LeBron, fucking Carmelo Anthony. I'm like I've heard that. I'm fuck. I don't even. That's what I'm saying. Being a Bulls fan is miserable, bro. It's really
Yeah.
bad.
How has Oklahoma City been better than the Bulls twice since the Bulls were good?
That's because one, the Thunder can actually develop rookies. They can.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot name you the last rookie that the Bulls have actually developed into a serviceable slash decent player. Jimmy Butler, I am fully convinced he developed himself because of his insane work ethic. I know that for a fact. Other than that, the rookies that we draft for whatever reason are either just very stagnant at where they are or they're a complete shit. Like Kobe White,
Yep.
he was really good last year. He only averages 1 point less than he did last year to this year, but it's a completely different guy. Like he's not as confident, he's not scoring as much. It's just a completely different player for whatever reason. Patrick Williams has always stunk. We can't draft. Dalen Terry's horrible. Julian Phillips is okay, I guess. He ain't really that guy. I love Matas Buzelius. He's the only reason I'm really still a fan because I actually like that kid's game and I really hope he wins the dunk contest tonight. But other than that, like it's just all bad. It's just all bad ownership, all bad roster construction.
Yeah.
On
Yep.
it, yeah.
So I'm a fan of Kobe White, obviously. Right.
I wanted us to
Because he's
draft him
he's he's a Chapel Hill guy. Like, let's not get weird
when
about
Kobe
it.
White was at Chapel Hill, bro. Now there are when it comes to North Carolina and the Steelers, there are certain players I will completely give their props for because I like as far
Yeah.
as like respecting their games. For North Carolina, Marcus Page, Kobe White,
Yep. Their
that
point
might
guard
be
right
it.
now. Their point guard right now is a weapon. He's a dog, and they're just a crap team. And their point guard right now is incredible.
Oh
What
yeah,
is
R.J. Davis.
RJ Davis is a weapon.
Yeah,
RJ, he's super good at basketball.
I really like Caleb Love's game, but then like
Mhm.
he had this little fallout. And he wasn't like who he was in his sophomore year, but I actually really like Caleb Love's game.
Yeah, they
Like when he hit that shot over Mark Williams, I couldn't do nothing but respect that. Nothing I can do.
situations are important in professional sports, and if you're Colby White, you want to get out of Chicago immediately. Go
Oh,
somewhere else, anywhere else.
I'm fully convinced that if anybody leaves the Bulls, you're automatically going to be a better player.
Uh, Put after Chris Paul leaves the Spurs this year, put Colby White on the Spurs. Watch to see what happens. The Spurs would
That
be
would be
unbelievable.
ridiculous.
It would be ridiculous. They would be, hey, NBA, if you're watching this, we know you are because you love our program.
No,
Colby
that would
White,
be.
Kobe White.
I
No,
really
no,
like the fact that De'Aaron Fox is there. I really like that acquisition too.
look, but no, Luca went to LA because the NBA was missing revenue.
They
So
need entertainment. They need entertainment. They need something, bro.
it
Everybody,
was
I'm telling you, playoffs. Everybody's watching the Lakers.
it was
Like,
so funny. It was so funny, and I'm gonna do my best here. It was so funny because you had the talking heads on ESPN. You had the younger people who were like, they were like, "We're so surprised. Like this is wild. I can't believe this happened." And then you had the older heads who were like, "We're so surprised. We can't believe this happens." They all knew. Like
yeah,
there was like an age gap where the older people were like, "Yeah, the NBA for sure did this on purpose. The NBA makes more money when the Lakers are good. We know this."
yeah.
So they did it. And the fact that dude from Charlotte didn't get his physical to
That's,
go play,
but that's just
how do we know if
that's
that's real?
typical
How do we
Charlotte being
know?
Charlotte.
How do we know? How do we know if that's real
Right.
though? Like, how do we know that that guy, if he did or didn't get a physical, like, what if he had a DUI? Like, what if he was a problem and we just don't know? Like, it could be anything. They just
It
said
says
he
that
didn't pass his physical.
I was gonna say it says that Charlotte is still investigating the entire physical. I'm like, what? Yeah, it's. I'm pretty sure it's only one guy, right? It's only one doctor that did his physical. What? How long does it take to investigate that?
You know, he either is a problem child or he's so severely out of shape he can't play, and that's just what it is. And I like JJ Redick. Unfortunately, I like JJ uh, because I just like his personality. Honestly, I
Hmm.
don't, and the fact that he loves ball more than he loves anything else. He loves ball.
Yeah,
Like he would keep playing if he thought he could. Like right now, I think.
and he's a really smart guy too.
Extremely thoughtful. Extremely thoughtful. Who's the guy who's the guy who's the NFL analyst right now who's on everything all the
Oh,
time?
Shannon Sharp.
Nah, Shannon Sharp. Shannon Sharp cracks me up.
Oh, say
No,
I love. Yeah.
he's a, oh Joe, oh Joe. I love Shannon Sharp. He's so funny. Cracks me up, dude. No, that he's a younger dude. He's on Good Morning America or CBS Good Morning, but then he also does like football stuff for NFL Network.
That's not Michael Strahan, is it?
Nah, it's not Mike. What's his name?
I can't say Nate Burleson. Don't think
It
it's
is
Nate
Nate
Burleson.
Burleson. That's
It's
what I'm
Nate
thinking of.
Burleson.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, it's Nate Burleson. I think
Like
you were
JJ.
telling me that he. I think you told me Nate Burleson got a gig on Good Morning America.
Yeah, yeah. So Nate Burleson and JJ Redick would have the same. If JJ Redick was the least bit more charismatic, they would have the same like career,
Yeah.
one for football, one for basketball. Because JJ is great, and he talks about like his stories with Coach K are simple, elegant, and awesome. I've met Coach K a time or two. I worked at Cameron
You
Indoor
met Coach K?
one summer I worked at Cameron Indoor for an internship, and he just happened to walk by, and I was like, "Oh, it's nice to meet you." And he was like, "Nice to meet you," and just walked on by. He's a good dude. He's really cool.
I would have lost,
Um,
dude. I would have melted. I'm gonna.
yeah, I mean, you
I
know,
wouldn't
it
have been
was
able to speak. I have a. I would have made. I wouldn't even been able to speak. That's crazy.
he's a good dude. The other one of the former North Carolina basketball coaches lives in my parents' hometown in North Carolina, and he goes to the same hardware store my brother worked at. So he met Roy. My brother met Roy Williams a few times. Like he
That's
just
dope.
happens to live in that neighborhood. Yeah, North Carolina is a weird spot, dude. The whole state. But no, yeah. God, where were we? Basketball.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
the
was gonna
NBA is
say,
good when those three teams are good.
sorry to segue. I was gonna say, so I got a really good friend who lives in North Carolina, and also my cousin just so happens to be dating a Panthers cheerleader.
Dope.
Fucking dope. He got to go to Germany and everything. It was fucking wild. That dude, I told that dude at Thanksgiving, I was like, dude, you're fucking awesome. That shit is
Yeah,
crazy.
a girl in my high school. I'm not going to mention her name, but a girl in my high school was a became a Panthers cheerleader. She's a couple of years younger than me, and she was super cool. Like I can't imagine her whole family was cool. Her older brother and I played football together.
Her name's not
She's
Madison, is it?
no.
Okay.
This 2 years younger than me. She's probably 35 now.
Oh, okay. All right.
But I mean, you know, she was super cool, super awesome, and I mean, I think she has a family now and she's doing her own thing. And I don't know, but she went to like Honolulu for a Pro Bowl, or she went out to somewhere for a Pro Bowl, and I saw. I mean, they're pretty cool. She's a cool person though. Turns out cheerleaders are cool. Missed missed that boat when I was in high school. Turns out they're actually just cool people.
Yeah,
Uh,
tell me about it.
tell me
I
about it.
missed I missed that completely.
Totally. But yeah, no, the NBA is in trouble, I think, until they get another like phenom type player, and I don't think that's coming anytime soon.
I mean,
Because KD is on his way out.
they've definitely been looking for like the face. And I think like maybe at some point in time that might be Wemby. But I mean, I
Mm,
guess the thing about this era though, I feel like the talent pool, like there's just like really good talent everywhere to the point where it's like nobody's really like separating themselves or assessing themselves as that gap. Like it's
yeah,
me and the rest of you. Like Wembenyama probably has the most potential to do that because the dude's fucking 7'4" with a ridiculous wingspan.
right.
But it's like he still has a ways to go for that. So I think he's like the best candidate to do so. But I don't know. I talk about this with my friends sometimes, and they're like, maybe the NBA can't have now. I was gonna say maybe the NBA can't have a foreign guy be the best because personally, if we're actually personally, Nikola Jokic should or could be the face of the NBA. He just doesn't give a fuck. Like
Yeah, no, he does not care.
he doesn't care. Like you can't that you can't have a guy who literally just after he wins a championship says, "I literally just want to go home and go to my horses. Like, I do not want to be here."
No.
Like
Yeah.
he didn't even want to go to the parade until he went and was like, "Okay, I actually had a good time, but I still want to go home." You can't you can't advertise, you can't act like market a guy like that. He's strictly about his job. He treats it like a 9 to 5 and go home, which personally I think is really scary to be that good at something like that and you treat it. I mean, it is technically, I guess, his 9 to 5, but like you're a pro basketball player. You literally treat that job like, yeah, I'm just here to do my work and go home. That's insane. And you're that
Just,
good at it though, like effortlessly.
yeah, I want to see someone come and play against Jokic that's like also super good and kind of raises his competitive nature.
Right.
And not in an aggressive way. Like, not that I'm going to fight you, but I'm going to outplay you, Jokic. I'm going to run the floor better than you. I'm going to do all the things that you do really well, just as good, and I'm going to dunk on you. Like, that may not be a person that's out there right now. I thought it
It
might
could have
be
been
like a,
Joel Embiid.
could have
It
been
could have been.
Zion. Could have been Zion, actually.
It
Zion's
could have.
really good. But Zion, his caloric intake is too high, and we just know it, and that's okay. It's like you don't have to eat it the Chinese buffet every night, dude. It's okay.
I was gonna say, and honestly, like the era that we're in, with all these young stars, with all these young phenoms, there's always just something that's holding them back from like being up there in the upper echelon of type players. Like you said, Zion, calorie just eats and goes crazy. John Morant, not that he was necessarily going to be up there, but all the gun stuff that kind of took him down, and now he's like pretty hurt in and out this year. And Memphis is still really damn good. All
Right.
credit to the coaching for that, and Jaron Jackson Jr. having a great season. But then you have what? Joel Embiid, trust the process. Want to like when the dude plays, he's damn near unstoppable. Ridiculously smart guy that knows how to use his body, knows how to use his skill set to just completely dominate. But he's played. I was watching in the barbershop. My guy was playing the Shannon Sharp and Gilly the Kid podcast, and he was saying Embiid has literally played almost as many games as he's missed. It's literally what he says. Like he's played 421, it's missed 404. Like that's insane.
That's a lot. That's a
That's
lot.
insane.
That's a lot.
That's legit like half. Like you've legit played 800 games, you missed half. That's
Like
crazy.
you don't get to do that in the NFL. You don't get to do that. You do get to do that in baseball, but you don't get to do that in the NFL.
Yeah.
He's now. I think you know one of the one of the things I like about the Sinners trailer we talked about earlier is you feel cool when you watch it. Like you
Those
feel
are the best
cool.
kind of trailers. Those
It
those are the
really,
best kind of
yeah,
movies and trailers.
that was really cool. There's not like a NBA player that I feel cool when I watch him play right now. There's not one. Not while they're playing, right? Like I said, John Morant when he plays and he's at full speed and doing his thing, it you feel cool. Like it's like wow, this is really cool. Um, and to a certain extent, Zion is like that too. But like all these other, you don't feel cool watching Jimmy Butler out hustle everybody.
No. I
You
would
just don't
say,
feel
I mean,
cool.
this is I can definitely say this is probably coming from a biased standpoint. Jason Tatum's my favorite player right now, just because Steph's on the back end of his career. It was Steph Curry for a very long time, but it's Steph's on the back end. So Jason Tatum's my favorite player. If he didn't shoot as many threes, I think he'd be a serious issue. Like, I think he
Yeah,
would at least average at least maybe like 33, 34 if he just didn't shoot as many threes. And like last year, now last year I truly commend him on understanding I actually have pieces to help me out, and I don't need to go try to drop 30 every night. I
right.
commend you for taking that step back, for understanding how to play actual basketball, because that's what people were just pissing me off with. They were saying Jason Tatum's not this, Jason Tatum's not the guy we thought he was. I'm like, he doesn't have to be.
Yeah,
Like he's in a
he,
position where you literally have Derek White, Drew Holiday, Jalen Brown, a great 1B guy, Kristaps Porzingis. Why do I gotta go drop 30 every night? I can take some nights off, quote unquote. I mean, I could be out there just helping the guys. I don't have to dominate and get 30 every night when I got these guys right here. It's 82. If we
yeah.
go the whole way, it's 100 plus games.
This is
So
the thing.
why the
The
hell
thing
do I have
is,
to do that on a night to night basis?
the thing is with him too is he has that extra gear too. He does, and we just because we don't see it all the time doesn't mean he doesn't have it. You know what I mean? Like he
Right.
could turn it on and score 40 on you. He just doesn't need to. That's who's the point guard for the Pacers? He's probably my favorite player in the NBA right now. The point guard for the Pacers.
Tyrese Halliburton.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's really. I love
He's
watching him play.
been super disappointing to me this year, but that's because his season last year was amazing.
I love watching
And
him
I'm
play.
mainly saying that from a
I also love the point guard Tyrese Maxey. Tyrese Maxey is awesome. Tyrese Maxey is
Tyrese
awesome.
Maxey's really good.
He
I
got a
really
great.
like Tyrese Maxey, man.
He got a great. He's got a great bag. His bag's loaded. He's got a great
Those
set of skills.
those Kentucky guards, man, there's just something special about them.
He's
Shea Gilgeous Alexander too. He's definitely grown on me. I really like Shea Gilgeous Alexander's game. Just
SGA. He's so clinical. Everything is like perfect.
it's very precise. It's like
Yeah.
watching a doctor do surgery.
Right.
Seriously,
Right. Right.
like that.
It's almost
Watching
boring.
it is boring. His
It's
game
almost
is
boring.
pretty boring. His game is pretty boring. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like it's
It's
not
like
it's not the most impressive 30 balls that you will see in your life, but he always gets them.
no. He plays a game like Tim Duncan. SGA does. A different position, whatever. But you're just watching. You're just like, I don't want to watch Oklahoma City Thunder play. And SGA scores 30. It has 4 assists and 2 steals. You're like, oh, okay, or 8 assists and 2 steals, and you're like, okay, that's boring. Like, what are we
I
doing?
definitely say that, yeah, Tim Duncan, that's good because you people forget how dominant Tim was because it was so like quote unquote boring to watch. But it's
Yeah,
like
Tim Duncan do like textbook whatever move, roll to the basket, and then slap you. Yeah, good
did
work, big fella.
everything correct.
He did
Absolute
compliment
every
you.
did literally
He
did
compliment
everything
you.
right.
And
No,
him
that
against
yeah, I actually thought I like the fact that he did that. He didn't try. He was like, yeah, good. He like, good work. That was a good try. Like,
he and KG in the league at the same time cracks me up. He and Kevin Garnett at the same because KG was like, "Come on, man!" He wanted to fire him. TD was just like, "I'm just gonna do my thing, and we're gonna keep playing
two
because I
completely
got to get up
opposite ends
tomorrow."
of the spectrum.
Both super talented. Yeah, Tim Duncan was the man, uh, and KG cracks me up. I think KG is my favorite interview, like
Really?
sports interview right now. Yeah, yeah. KG sports interviews are really, really funny. They're electric. He's really good. Kevin, when he got, I bet when he got traded to Boston, that was a Luca being traded to the Lakers type deal. Go
Yeah.
back and look at
Had
it.
to bring
It's the
something to bring
same,
some entertainment.
It's the same thing. It's the
Adam, I would say
same
this though.
thing.
Yeah, like we talked about, Adam Silver needed something like this badly because even for me personally, this All Star weekend is one of the most just meh things. And like, no, I don't really think there's any like energy around it. There's no excitement for it, and it's really just because the product is just like for the All Star game now is like well, nobody really cares. They're not competing anymore.
Yeah, growing up, the All Star game was sexy. When I was growing up, it was sexy. It was like seeing Kobe play against Michael in the '90s was a cool thing to see. It was cool.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
It was cool, and you saw Kobe kind of talking trash and having a good time. No, I mean, sports are in a weird spot, but the one thing I do love about you know sports is it reinforces like you still need to be a dog.
Hmm.
You still need to be a savage. I mean, we're talking about the show that I like on television or the streaming show that I like the most right now, and I'm not doing reviews of it because I just don't have the brain for it. I just don't have the expertise. Is The Pit on HBO?
I
Um,
remember you recommended that to our chat.
buddy, wild. It's
Yeah.
so good. It's so good.
You watch
Uh,
Severance?
I have not seen Severance. No, that's ABC, right?
That's not. I mean, it's not Apple TV.
Apple TV. My bad. Yeah, Apple TV. So Severance. Yeah, I got to see it.
That's that's primetime television there, man. That shit is ridiculous.
Um, got to see it. But like, it's when you're seeing people perform on TV or in a movie, and you can tell they're calm. Even when they're stressed, they're calm, right?
Yeah.
They're not overwhelmed by what they need to do, and they're just in the character. So like I personally believe anyone can play just any role, to be frank with you. I don't think there's one actor who can play one role. I don't think that's a thing.
Okay.
There's a few instances where like the pool's
Yeah.
real small, but Jake Gyllenhaal can be replaced by a lot of other people in a lot of other movies, and they just so happen to pick Jake Gyllenhaal because he fits, right?
Which movies are these?
I mean, you could put Toby Maguire in October Sky, and it would have been the same exact movie.
I was gonna say I've never seen that one. I was gonna say what the big ones. I was telling somebody I was telling somebody something similar about that about Long Legs about Nick Cage being the killer. I thought he could have been replaced by plethora of people and it
Hmm.
still would have been the same movie if not a little bit better just because of how cartoonish his or Nick Cage I should say his performance in that movie got. But as far as Jake Gyllenhaal goes, I definitely see your point with a few movies. Um, I mean, Prisoners, that's one of my favorite movies of all time. So,
But I think
I
like you could have put Heath Ledger as Jake Gyllenhaal's character in Prisoners, and it would have been the same movie over.
well, yeah, now that I'm
You
not
know,
going to argue because he gave the Joker, and yeah, so that I'm not going to argue. That I can definitely see. That I can a
like
1000% see.
like Christian Bale, uh, Christian Bale and Hugh Jackman can play the same roles. Um, in a
You
lot of
think
cases,
you think Hugh
not
Jackman can do American Psycho?
he could it whenever when that come out 96 probably not when it came out, but if it came out in like 2002 or 2003 probably yeah.
I don't know. That one I'm on. That one I might have to disagree with you on.
Then if it's not Hugh Jackman, it's somebody else. I'm just my point is my point is I don't think there's like a specific performer, that is they're the only person who could play that role. Like other people could have played Han Solo.
Yeah,
Sorry.
and
Yeah,
I think Mahershala Ali and Coleman Domingo could easily play each other's roles.
there you go. There you go.
Yeah,
So I guess yeah. So I guess my point is, and it's gonna when I watch these shows, I tend to that's the first question I kind of ask myself. I said, okay, who else do I see in this role? Who else was in the casting audition? And in this show, The Pit, I can't think of anyone. In a lot of the characters, I'm like, okay, I can't imagine somebody else playing this role.
do you
And if
think
you go,
about that when it comes to superhero casting too?
yeah, for
So you think
sure,
somebody else can play? Do you think somebody else can play? I said like say like the obvious ones like Wolverine or Iron Man.
absolutely. I don't know that I can name off the top of my head right now. But yeah, for sure. Like
As I say, but
finding
those
finding
characters
a
I can't. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, yeah, finding a 6 foot tall, dark headed dude who's kind of shredded, who's egocentric, who lives in LA. I feel like there's about 30 of those dudes, especially in 2008. So that was probably cast in 2006, especially in 2006.
I would say I would say just minor things that I'd say it's the little things in some of those castings that really cement them as being the only guys. Like when it comes to the rage that Wolverine needs to capture and like the anger that comes with him just spazzing out. I personally only like Henry Cavill's a popular name that a lot of people throw around, but I'm like I don't see him really like. Obviously, he had an opportunity to do something in Deadpool and Wolverine, but I don't see him really capturing that veiny rage that Hugh Jackman really locks into. Like
Yep.
even in Deadpool and Wolverine, when they're sitting in the car and Hugh Jackman is delivering that insane monologue about how annoying Deadpool is and how it's God's joke on everybody else that we all have to deal with him. There's only one man that can deliver something like that. When it comes to
Yep.
Tony Stark and Robert Downey Jr. and the snarkiness and just the quick whips and just how like amazing he is at reacting to people and just being able to be literally like like walking in the room, you're already convinced he knows he's better than everybody else in here. The knowledge wise, best dressed, like I just felt like there was just a lot of little things about those characters that cement them as the best. And one other person who I truly think the more I watch him as this character kind of cements that for me as well is Cox's Daredevil. I think Charlie Cox's Daredevil is truly a guy that and it's
Yeah.
not even him in the costume. It's him as Matt Murdock. When he just looks around, the eyes, like using his senses. It's like shit like that. Now, granted, other people can do that, but I just think the way that Charlie Cox does it is a way that's like but like, cause like Ben Affleck wasn't even close to what Charlie Cox does with
No.
this character.
No. No. No.
Ben
I
Affleck
think.
was not even close.
Yeah. That's. I think for me, the barrier to entry is, can I tell they're performing? Like, can I
Yeah,
tell me? Is it not that is it obvious to everyone? Am I capable of seeing a performance? Is there anything that's like we were talking about unearned spectacle? Are they over or underreacting to stimulus, circumstance, whatever? Um, my your Charlie Cox example is great because I couldn't tell he was acting in the show where I could tell everyone else was acting
yeah,
except for him, and it's so cool that you can't
yeah,
tell with him. My example, the closest I think I could come to with only, and it just so happens to be their two best performances in my mind, is Gladiator with Joaquin Phoenix and Russell Crowe.
yeah.
You,
I don't think anybody else can play that.
I think other people could. It wouldn't have been as good.
Yeah, for
There
sure.
was
I
two.
don't.
It
Yeah,
was two actors playing. There two actors acting better than any other actors in the world at the time in the same movie at the same time.
and it's literally crazy because Gladiator 2 is everyone trying to just replicate that.
Oh boy, that movie sucks. That movie sucks ass. That
Yeah,
movie sucks. That movie
extremely
sucks. But
and I love Paul Mescal because Normal People is one of my favorite limited series of all time. But
Mhm.
it's just that I mean, it's not even really on him. It's just the fact that that movie was really trying to be the first one, but it just so many just ridiculous, unnecessary, nonsensical additions to that movie. And personally, it's like and like the fact that they just let Denzel do whatever. And like I
yeah,
understand he's Denzel,
okay,
but my God,
okay. So everything you said is correct. And Denzel was bad.
you think he was bad?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, because I'm just like, dude,
He's
this
in a
you're
different
not in
movie.
the same movie.
He's in
I'm
a
like,
different film.
like, dude, you're not. You're not in this movie. You're in something else. And I'm
He's
like,
he's a Marvel movie villain in that movie. Like
yeah,
legit. He's cartoony and weird and like he does like hmm, sit down. It's like
more wine, more wine. Man, that part cracked me up. That
he's a
part,
Marvel
no.
villain.
And him and Paul Mescal fighting at the end. I'm like, dude, if this was really set in Gladiator, I don't care if you run an entire ring of. You're not beating the youngest guy who.
No.
Honestly, it's so crazy because when they like I think like the first like event that they had and they had to fight those like really strong, crazy, genetically enhanced monkeys. I was like, what movie is this? I was like, is this Jurassic World? I was like, what? Where did this come from?
Jurassic World. Hey, that new Jurassic Park movie looks terrible, and I can't wait to see it.
I'm
It looks
so happy
horrible.
somebody else said it looks terrible because I did a trailer reaction thing about that on TikTok, and everybody was like, "Well, it doesn't look bad." Like everybody's trying to get, not everybody, but some people definitely agree. But it was just like, I'm like,
Yeah.
are y'all watching the same thing I'm watching? I said I'm only interested for the actors. I'm only interested from Mahershala Ali, I believe his name is Jonathan Bailey, and Scarlett Johansson. I'm only interested for them. But as far as I'm concerned, this is a literal carbon copy of all the other movies, just with recite a little type of twist and turns to make it seem fresh and new.
So the quintessential evidence for me that a movie is bad, it's this one thing, and it's when they do the action movie star, they do the action movie character qualifier. Like they qualify how badass the main character is. And they do
Yeah,
that twice in the trailer, I think. They do once for Scarlett Johansson and they do the other one for Mahershala Ali. It's like, who is this guy?
you know what's great? Yeah,
And he's like, well, he gets people into, hard to get play. It's like, okay, we don't need a qualifier. What are you doing? Like,
yeah. And then they're gonna go. He's gonna go. Nobody's dumb enough to go where we're
yeah, right.
going, and they end up bringing a
Yeah.
child.
Children got to be on the movie. Um,
Now, granted, I don't know if the child snuck on yet because I haven't seen the movie, but I'm like, guys, why is there a child with you? Why do
yeah.
y'all continuously bring children on dinosaur islands? Except for Jurassic, except the first Jurassic World because I was open to the public.
What,
So of
like
course
I
they're
said,
going to be
what I
children.
love is the action movie qualifier. It's so good. He's like, who is, yeah, okay. He's like, oh, and then they have someone on the ship named Nathaniel Speed. Who's Nathaniel Speed? And other person's like, oh, have you heard of Nathaniel Speed? He's Ranger Battalion, Ghost Division. Like he's just some like card carrying badass. It's like, what are we doing? I
I
love
will
that.
say the movies that I think that I like your term of action qualifier. I think the movies that works the most in is any Jason Statham movie.
Yeah,
Or at that point John Wick too, because yeah, I'm if there's a guy who's that badass, yeah, build up his talk about
yeah.
him as much as you
Oh
want,
my god,
because he lives up to
it's
it for
Jason
sure.
Bourne.
No, yeah,
That's one of my favorites.
oh my god, dude, he was on the
Oh
oh
my
my
god.
god, it's
Oh my
Jason
god, it's
Bourne. I'm
Jason
like,
Bourne. Oh my god, I love that. It's like, he's like, I was in the Royal. What does he say? Yeah, I was in the Royal Navy. You know what I mean? Okay.
I like
What are we
the
doing?
it's so crazy because I actually like the fifth Jason Bourne
I think it's
film.
great.
I think like I actually do like the fifth Jason Bourne film. Like I know a lot of people didn't necessarily want to talk about because the Bourne legacy is pretty bad, but I actually really like the fifth Jason Bourne film, especially the ending fight. I thought the ending fight was
It's insane.
insane.
It's insane. And listen, isn't Henry Cavill in the first Jason Bourne movie? Am I wrong about this? Or is he in? Is he in one?
Henry
I might be thinking of somebody else.
Henry,
Clive Owen is in the first
I
one.
was gonna say
Clive Owen
no.
is in the first Jason Bourne movie.
Clive Owen. That's who I'm thinking.
Dang.
Yeah, Clive Owen. I couldn't think of his name.
Clive Owen's awesome
Yeah,
too.
I'm pretty sure Clive Owen's the villain in the
Yeah,
first
yeah,
one.
he's awesome too. Actually,
Yeah, he's good in that. He's good
I
in that for
love
sure.
the kind of like campy action movies. I like good action movies too. Like The Accountant is a good action movie.
I was just gonna ask, have you seen The Accountant or have you seen the new trailer? I haven't watched the
Yeah,
trailer yet
yeah.
for it because I'm
Did
okay,
a
but
trailer
I
reaction.
do really like The
Did a trailer
Accountant.
reaction. It's on the channel.
I'm gonna watch those.
My
I'm gonna watch
brother
those.
has never seen the first one, and so I like the first one a lot.
Yeah.
It's the first one's really good. The second one looks like a campy action movie, but the first one is like a solid.
My only gripe with the first one is that my only gripe with the first one is that they really didn't try to hide the fact that they were brothers. I knew immediately from
Right.
all the flashbacks and everything they were presenting. I was like, John
Yeah.
Berthol's
What
his
are we
brother.
doing? Like, why
I'm
are we
like,
waiting
why?
on this?
Why? I was like, are y'all trying to save this from something? Why is nobody saying that that's his brother? Like, I know
Yeah.
this is
Not
his
to
brother.
steal a.
Like, I know these flashbacks are being shown to me for a
Yeah,
reason.
and thankfully, like Ben Affleck didn't go full. Um, I don't know. I don't want to steal the line from Tropic Thunder, but you know what I'm talking about. He didn't go full Asperger's.
Oh, he didn't
Yeah,
go
yeah.
full retard.
He didn't do it. Don't never go full retard.
Hold on, give me one
All right, cool,
second.
cool, cool. Oh, it's 110. We've been in here for 110. Let's wrap it up pretty soon anyway. I don't want to keep you forever, and I got things to do. But yeah. You never go full retard. Tropic
Never go
Thunder is my
full
all-time
retard.
favorite comic book. It's my all-time favorite comedy. Is Tropic Thunder. I think
I'm
that
not,
movie
dude.
is immeasurably
Good.
funny.
I was gonna say, dude, like I just did a other guy's TikTok the other day, and I was saying like the most quotable movies of all time. Other guys, Tropic Thunder, Rush Hour 2, like a lot, bro. Tropic
Rush.
Thunder,
Rush Hour 2 may be the greatest comedy sequel of all time. It's
Probably,
really good.
probably.
Yeah. Anyway, go
Pro-
ahead. Sorry.
Most definitely no, but I was saying like those are some of the most quotable comedies of all time. And Tropic Thunder never like I have a coworker who literally told me she was like, "Yeah, I fall asleep to that movie." I was like, "What? How the hell do you fall asleep at Tropic Thunder? Like, you not
Probably
enjoy
bored of the
life?"
booty sweat. Probably bored
I,
of booty sweat.
I I can never wrap my head, dude. That Steve Coogan in that movie as the director kills me. And Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise is just like Michael Keaton and the other guys. Just like like the Chef's Kiss, cherry on top. Tom Cruise, like, dude, it
Yeah.
took me forever to even find out that Tom Cruise was Les Grossman. But my God, I admire that performance so much because it's so funny.
So we'll be quick about this because I do want to mention it. The the jokes in there are so thoughtful and smart and meta that regular people don't get it. So,
Yeah,
like for example, who actually directed the movie? The actual movie Tropic Thunder.
hell if I
It was
know.
the main guy. No, it was what's his name? The guy who plays Tuck Speedman.
Oh,
Um,
it was Ben Stiller.
then still, yeah, he directed it.
Ben Stiller directed. Oh my. Okay, this guy is really shocking the hell out of me because I just found out this season that he's directing and he created Severance, and I'm like, where the hell did Ben Stiller get the mindset to do something like that?
Yeah, yeah. So he directed the movie, but and Justin Thoreau is the writer, and he's incredible too. But
Yeah,
like the thing about Tropic Thunder that's so good, and you may know this already, but I'll go through it real quick. Ben Stiller is playing Tug Speedman, who is a joke on Tom Cruise, right?
yeah,
And Tom Cruise is in the movie playing Harvey Weinstein. Like
yeah,
that's Harvey Weinstein for all
yeah,
those people who don't know. That's what they're trying to make fun of. Is that's what Harvey Weinstein how he would act.
yeah,
And then on top of all that, you have Robert Downey Jr., who is making fun of both the two actors, Russell Crowe. He's making fun of Russell Crowe, and he's making fun of, or he's emulating Russell Crowe and Daniel Day Lewis, like
yeah,
intentionally. Like
yeah.
he's talking about
Trying
how
to be the
horrible method is.
the method actor. He's
Yeah,
doing the
yeah,
method actor thing.
which is those two dudes, and it's so funny that he's like they would do that. They would do what he's doing in real
Yeah,
life. Like already, like anyway, Jack Black is essentially just playing Chris Farley. Who else?
Jay
Jay.
Baruchel and Brandon T. Jackson.
Yeah, so he's basically the shit weasel who figures out everything at the end. He's the smart kid who figures out everything in the end. Nick Nolte is hilarious. Nick Nolte is essentially playing the army vet that's not really an army vet. He's like a fake internet celebrity. Matthew
Yeah,
McConaughey is Matthew McConaughey is he's like, don't give a damn about your where's your TiVo? I mean, just
he said,
oh
"I'm gonna get
god,
him his I'm gonna get you your TiVo. I'm gonna
I'm
get
gonna
you your
get you your
TiVo."
TiVo. Where we at, Chuck? How we doing? Bumper sticker. I read his book. His book is hilarious too. Matthew McConaughey. But yeah, Danny McBride. Danny McBride is the anyway. That movie is so funny and so thoughtful that I don't think regular people get it, and that stinks. We'll never see a sequel. It can never be done again. And I think 2008 for Robert Downey Jr. was maybe the most profitable year in the history of filmmaking for a single actor ever.
Probably.
If you count everything that came after because of his involvement compared to what he was doing before.
Yeah, for sure. That literally skyrocketed. It's so crazy because when I first watched Tropic Thunder, I was not aware of the terms of blackface. Was not aware of like, this shit that was surrounding the problematic shit that was surrounding the movie. I completely just died laughing at everything that was going on. I thought it was hilarious. And honestly, if you want to talk about, okay, well, I can't necessarily give Robert Downey Jr. a G card, but if he said it in that character, wouldn't even have blinked twice, wouldn't even have thought of it, because I thought that was a black guy. Until, well, it's so crazy because when I remember the very first time watching Tropic Thunder, I was trying to piece together when the movie actually started because the trailers in the beginning threw me off because I was like, Toby Maguire's in this. Tony McGuire's in this. Why is
Right.
he playing a priest? And I realized that was the intro to all their movies. But
Yeah.
yeah,
One of
it
the
was just
most creative movie hooks of all time is
seriously.
that one. It's that one. Uh, yeah. What? Oh gosh, what's it called? What's it called? Django. Django Unchained. That movie grew on me a whole lot, and you do have a white dude who's saying the N word, and it's like
You do.
and he breaks the glass, and he's like, and I'm just like, oh man, I don't hate this. I hope they shoot this guy in the face. I hope they
No,
shoot this guy right in the face, like in a few minutes. Like, it's
definitely did it. Definitely did it.
they
But no, that
did a
scene
great
was
job.
that entire movie is phenomenal. Yeah, it was crazy that movie had to grow on you. That it's crazy that
There
movie had to
just
grow on you.
there are parts where the suspense didn't hit me right. Like I loved uh anytime you can shoot a slave owner in the face with a gun, I'm into it. Like, let's do that. But there are scenes in between the action and the fun part that the stress level wasn't right for me or something. I don't know. So after upon rewatch, I was like, oh, this might be my favorite Tarantino movie. This might be it right here. And
Yeah,
I think it is.
I think mine is Inglorious Bastards. I think mine is Inglorious Bastards simply for the scene with Michael Fassbender with the three. Yeah, that and the opening scene. Those are two.
Right.
The opening scene to Inglorious Bastards probably immediately made that my favorite Tarantino movie of all time because I come out of my apartment every morning just saying "Au revoir, so sana." Well, not necessarily, but I just think about shit like that.
Yeah. Tarantino doesn't have to make another movie. Right. He's one of these dudes that doesn't need to make another movie.
I know he's definitely yeah,
Uh,
and he's definitely like he's thinking like so hard about this next one he wants to make. Take your time, bro.
yeah.
No rush.
Don't do it. Like, I'm cool with Chris Nolan not making another movie for a little while, but
Although he's making the Odyssey.
which I hope is good. I have this theory about and we're gonna close this up in a few minutes. I don't want to keep you any longer.
I mean, I'm having a really. I was gonna say, man, it's really fun talking to you about shit like this. It's really
yeah.
cool.
So I've got a theory. This is another one of those hot takes. My um um there's a subsection of people, we may have talked about this, but there's a subsection of people who like anime that think Attack on Titan is their favorite, is the best anime that's ever been made. Granted, it's good. It's a good anime. It's okay.
It's
Um,
not great.
I think it's good. I think it's
I think it's
really,
fucking
really good.
fantastic. Is it my favorite anime of all time? It's one of them. It is truly one of them for me personally.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you finish. Go ahead.
My thing about Attack on Titan, that the reasons why people like it that they've told me is because of the messaging about Aaron and how his decision making seemed earnest and without spectacle and without headcanon. It seemed earnest and honest, right? Um, I think there are lots of problems with that anime, and also I don't have as much fun watching it as I do other ones personally. But that same group of people that think Attack on Titan is the greatest anime of all time, or one of the greatest animes of all time, or mangas of all time, are the same group of people that think that Dark Knight is perfect cinema and are like super Chris Nolan fans. Uh, and the Dark Knight's not even his
Okay.
second or third best movie. I
I know
think
a lot of people
Inception's
had
a
the
better
pro.
movie.
I know a lot of people had a problem with I mean, I know what you're saying, but I know a
They're
lot of people
literally the
had a problem
same.
with the manga.
But what
I'll
I'm
say
saying is
yeah,
that
I know people had a
they're
problem with the manga the way it ended. That's why they switched it up in the show.
they're literally the same group of people. Like, they think Christopher Nolan can do no wrong because of The Dark Knight, and they also love Attack on Titan. And so my argument is that it's the both hit that group of people at the same time, where the creatives maybe took content that they have nostalgic love for or whatnot that's usually treated immaturely to a mature way. Like, The Dark Knight was the first time we saw Batman being treated mature. It wasn't like a standard hero's journey. It was different and interesting and suspenseful and cool. It didn't end like we thought it should and subverted our expectations. And Attack on Titan does the exact same thing. And it's the same age group of people that all think, and it's like, buddy, there's better anime, there's better movies, there's better. Captain America Winter Soldier is a better movie than The Dark Knight. I'm sorry, it just is. It really is, from beginning, middle to end.
I'm not mad at
Uh,
that, and I do think I'm personally with you on that. Like as far as the Dark Knight praise kind of can get a little out of hand, but I mainly think that's just due to the fact that Heath Ledger's Joker performance is really like this. I don't even think it's personally like it. Like Chris Nolan's directing is insane, but like I think the Joker performance is really what just like you can never ignore the impact of that. And I mean,
right.
yeah, like yes, the fact that Heath Ledger died too, but that's not even really like any part of it. It's really the fact that that's just one of the best performances of all time.
Yeah, had Heath Ledger still been with us and gone on to do great things, it would still have been overshadowed by that performance
Probably
forever, forever. I don't
forever.
like. I don't think we're gonna see Heath Ledger play like you know a wartime World War II time um, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, and
Yeah.
he's in a wheelchair. Like that would have been cool seeing Heath Ledger rolling around as FDR. I mean, actually, I wish I had seen that. That would be cool. But yeah, it would have been overshadowed by that performance forever. Same with like Commodus and Joaquin Phoenix. That whenever we see Joaquin Phoenix now, we all hate him a little bit. Or the guy who plays the first king from Game Game of Thrones, that little kid, the blonde haired kid, everybody
Oh,
hates him.
Joffrey.
Yeah, you just hate him.
Who
You see him,
I don't think I've seen Joffrey since Game of Thrones. Honestly, I don't think I've seen that actor.
the actor who plays Malfoy in Harry Potter. He's not like people don't look at him and think, oh man, yeah, I enjoy his company in my household. Like they're like,
Yeah,
ugh,
you know what's crazy? I'm going to see Goblet of Fire tomorrow. They releasing like all the Harry Potter movies in theaters. I'm very excited to go see that.
nice, nice. What else is on the docket other than that for you? What's going on?
I mean, I've already seen. I saw Captain America in Paddington last night. I got dinner with family later. Then I'm gonna watch The Gorge, the new Anya Taylor Joy Miles Teller movie.
Oh yeah,
I'm
cool,
gonna watch the
cool.
new Bridget Jones. Yeah, I'm gonna watch the new Bridget Jones movie because I really like Bridget Jones. Um, because I like Leo. Yeah, Leo Wardell's in that. And then yeah, tomorrow's just Harry Potter, and then just chilling. Honestly, nothing crazy. What about you?
I was just tomorrow's kind of chill day. Been playing a lot of Marvels recently.
Yeah,
Marvel Rivals. Um, we've got more trailers coming. I'm talking about channel stuff, I guess. I got more trailers coming, I think. Gonna continue to do Invincible. And Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, which is there aren't, which is okay.
has been
Uh,
absolutely ridiculous.
there's nothing less than good. Yeah, there's nothing less than good in that show. Everything is good plus.
I don't
Yeah,
I don't think there's a single episode. I don't think there's a single episode I wouldn't rate less than like a 9 out of 10.
yeah, yeah.
Like there's
Well,
especially dude the recent the last two episodes with Scorpion and the aftermath of that were like 11 out of 10.
yeah, yes. The episode with Daredevil was a cool. It was cool.
Yes, no, maybe so.
It was cool. It was just cool. Um, I w- I'm anxiously awaiting the outcome of that one. And then
I
Invincible.
was just very upset that Disney wanted to spoil that before it even aired.
Yeah, that is upsetting too. Don't do that, Disney. But no, I'm watching Invincible, and
That has
then
been the first these
go ahead.
I think I'll say you broke up a little bit there. Say it again.
No, yeah, I've been watching Invincible also, and that was what I was gonna say.
I was gonna say, yeah, no. The first four episodes, I didn't necessarily have an issue with season two, but I know a lot of people were not fans of the mid-season break and the fact that it didn't necessarily have the same pacing and tone, or not tone, but the same pacing as season one did. I think these first four episodes of season three have made up for all of that. Like
Yeah,
everything that everybody was complaining about in season two, I think these first four episodes have more than delivered enough amazing content for us to start off with an amazing season. And I am truly,
yeah,
and I love how bold they are in even presenting us with the future episode titles, names, and the little thumbnails. I think they literally know, yeah, we're gonna deliver you guys fucking incredible stuff. And yo, there's so much good TV happening now, bro, because I don't know if you watch Yellow Jackets. That's on Showtime. It's a phenomenal show. Ella Purnell, Sophie Thatcher, incredible. The White Lotus comes back on tomorrow. I love the White Lotus. I'm very excited for that.
I was gonna say the only part about Invincible I don't like is that he feels nerfed. Mark feels nerfed.
The reason I'm definitely with you on that, but the reason I kind of can still believe it is because Mark is afraid to kill, or he's not really trying to fully embrace that rage side of himself. I think when if I think when and if he does, he can be like the hero we all think he is, just invincible. Like I think he can be like unstoppable. I just
Mhm.
think he pulls his punches. He's kind of like Spider-Man in the sense, because like we all know how super strong Spider-Man is,
Right.
but he's not out here trying to kill these villains. He's just trying to just stop them.
Yeah,
Like Mark doesn't want to kill. Just like, because I'm like, Oliver fucking mutilated the whatchamacallit twins, and it's like I know Mark can probably do that if he wanted to.
yeah, yeah.
Like I like I know Mark can probably do that if he want. He doesn't want to though.
That's my thing about this Spider-Man show that I don't like
So
personally is there's no spider sense. Like we're not seeing any of that happen.
I was gonna say there has not. I think that's a good point. Yeah, I have not seen the spider. I haven't seen a spider sense thing yet.
But no, that's what we're doing on the channel.
But it's
Some of
kind of
those
it's so
episodes,
crazy. I
but
didn't
yeah,
even notice that till you pointed it out. Like that's never really.
no, I'm with you. That's what's sort of happening now, and then we'll do
I was
in
gonna say that's
March.
so crazy. I never really noticed that till you said something.
I'm with you. In March, we'll do like Wheel of Time, and we'll do Daredevil, Born Again. We'll do
I was
episode
gonna.
reviews of that. So that's what's happening. Um, where can
Yeah, we do Daredevil. That's in like what, 2 weeks? Almost 2 3 weeks.
yep. Where can people find you, Terrell?
That's dope. That's dope. Dude, my signal is going crazy over here. Can you
Yeah,
still
I
hear
know.
me?
Yeah, yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you. I think there's a little delay, but where can people find you?
You can find me on TikTok, right? I mean, you can find me on YouTube and TikTok. YouTube is Guy in the Chair Presents. TikTok is Guy in the Chair Reacts, because that's mainly just a reaction page. But those two platforms, and we're trying to boost that as much as humanly possible.
Nice. Yeah, and then you can check us out here on the couch any single time, any single where. Anyone's invited, and we'll just have a good time. Anyway, we'll catch you next
Oh,
time and take
okay.
care.
Hold on. Is this live? Okay, cool. Guy in the Chair Reacts on TikTok. Guy in the Chair Presents on Twitter. I'm not Twitter. YouTube.
All right. Take care, everybody.